welcome, Asger, to Metallium Pages. It's a great
Thank you.
pleasure to talk with you about Vola, this new album, and more things related to the metal world in general. So we started by asking, how are you doing today? How is the band during the last couple of years?
Yeah, I'm very good. I just had a child 4 months ago, so I'm busy learning to become a parent.
Oh,
Um, so that's on the personal front, and on the band level, like it's right now we are rehearsing for the upcoming tour in November, and yeah, it's just been 2 years of of writing the album and then recording and mixing it in the end. So it's been quite busy.
okay, okay, interesting to know. So now, when do you compose? When do you start to compose songs for this new album? Perhaps any songs was rescued for the previous album, Witness, of all the songs are new.
Well, all the songs are new, I believe. I don't think we have had any ideas that were leftovers from Witness. And we started writing in the spring of 2022. Um, but at that time, we were still touring for Witness. So we had to sort of write this album in between tours, which made the process a bit more difficult for me because it was hard for me to fully focus on writing, like when this Witness universe was still sort of alive. So it took longer than usual to write, but I'm happy about where we ended up.
Mhm. Oh, okay, okay. Interesting point to know. So now talking about one topic. So your previous album, Witness, was released during the last years of the pandemic. Now we have a new times ahead for the builders without now pandemic, without the pandemic for this topic. So how do you compare the promotion of this new album compared to the previous one that came out from the difficult times?
Well, I guess the Witness promotion was maybe more focused on um, like doing things that people could enjoy at home in front of their screens. Like we made this live album, for example, live from the pool, um, which also had a video side to it. Um, so that was definitely born from the pandemic, I would say, and inspired by all these bands who did live sessions at that point that people could enjoy at home. Um, so yeah, now the pandemic is thankfully not here anymore, and I think our focus is more towards getting out on the road and presenting the songs live. But like we've still made many music videos for this album, so there's still this aspect of like sitting at home and watching stuff that we do. So that hasn't gone away, of course.
Mm, okay, okay, okay. Now talking about one thing that captured my attention because this novel has a pre-live concert that I saw 2 3 years ago. I remember about the you did a gig into Napoo in a pool. I remember a full gig tour because at that time the promotion of the previous album was through the just a digital concerts or this kind of stuff. So how do you see this experience to work and at that pool? Because many people see that many people saw that full presentation of Vola. Compared now, will you present this album with live shows, etc.?
So just to be sure, how our new live show compares to the live
Yes,
from the pool?
yeah.
Yeah, it's there are definitely some like lots of similarities. Like we work again with the lighting company that we collaborated with on Live from the Pool, the company called Vertigo. So they're like custom making a light show for us and making like lamps for the stage that like fit us specifically, but they will be even bigger this time. So I think like the vibe from Live from the Pool will be there, but it will be like magnified uh, substantially, and um, yeah, hopefully people will. Oh no, I'm quite sure they will get a like a nice visual experience out of it.
Okay, okay. So was the songwriting and recording process for this new album is similar to your previous one, or did it change a bit?
It was quite similar. I would say the biggest difference was that like the songwriting took a longer time, so we had to divide the drum recordings into two parts, um, because we didn't have all the songs finished for the first um, uh, studio booking we had made. Um, but after that, it was quite quite similar. Like we recorded guitar and bass and vocals at my place, and Martin made his keyboards at home and sent the files to me. And so I, like with having the producer role, sort of collected all the tracks and made sure that everything sounded the way they should. And then I sent it off to Jacob Hansen in the end, who mixed and mastered it. And it was also him who, like at his studio, that we recorded the drums. Um, and last time for Witness, we recorded the drums in Gothenburg in another studio. So there were some differences, but overall, not that many, I would say.
Oh, okay, okay. For me, the songwriting process for this new album must have been incredibly emotional because I feel a lot of things about you. You mentioned that you going through for a lot of things. So can you share some insights into how you approach writing and selected the songs for this new album?
Yeah, I think for me, it's it's a success songwriting wise if I can listen to the demo we make after. I can listen to our demos and feel like an emotional connection, and I can become a fan of what we create. I think that's very important that I can put on our songs and just have this urge to listen to them again and again. So that's the success criteria for me. Um, and then I've just hoped like if we like it, someone else might like it too. Someone else might feel this connection also. Um, and yeah, it's definitely a very sad album, but I hope people can hear some hope in it too. Like that's what I like about melancholic music. That it's sad, but you also sense a connection with the artist that makes it not a lonely experience, but a like a social experience. And that's what we're trying to achieve. Yeah.
Okay. So what inspired you what inspires the band's sound, which is heavily influenced by a lot of things because you have pop, you have progressive, you have metal into this aspect. So a sound may also represent a period of time that is answer to what was happening at that moment. So how do you manage to capture the sound, a vibe from entire influence of your outside and inside in your sound?
Well, I think we have specific ways of writing melodies that that will sort of be a red thread throughout the music, no matter um, how the production sounds, or like no matter what genre we play. So we might have a song that's very hip hop influenced, and another one that's influenced by melodic death metal, and another one that's influenced by like electronic music. But I hope they all have like a Vola trademark in them that makes it sound like it's the same band. So that's our goal, at least. It's just to be very playful and do whatever we want, and then just have our fingers crossed that it will sound coherent in the end. Because like if we're not true to our inspirations and what excites us, it's not a like it's not nice for us to be in a band. It has to it has to feel honest, or else it wouldn't be rewarding, I think, and it would feel like sort of a hollow experience to do all this. So yeah, the excitement of doing whatever we want is a big motivational factor, I would say.
Mhm. Okay. So, what does this album mean to you as a band, especially as you celebrate this year your 20th anniversary as a band? So, how do you describe your sound in the new album? Do you feel has been any evolution since your first album?
I think it has many similarities to Witness, but it's a broader spectrum of sounds, I would say. So there are moments that are more mellow, like on the song Glass Mannequin, for example, which is like almost only my voice in some places. And then there's something that's more aggressive, like Cannibal, for example, or Bleed Out. Um, and in terms of Bleed Out, like I do more harsh vocals than I've done before. So I think that sort of widens the spectrum of moods. So it feels like a natural progression for me from Witness, with the sound being sort of similar, the um, but it being more diverse also. And yeah, it's been like we've been in this band for many years at this point, and I think our sound has changed a lot. Um, it's like the big change for me happened. The biggest change, I think, when I changed from using a 6-string guitar to a 7-string guitar, and I was suddenly able to use the Meshuggah influences a lot more because I sort of had the tool to do it. Um, so yeah, it's been a nice journey with some exciting changes along the way, I think.
Okay. So, Well, now talking about especially the promotion of this new album, what kind of plans do you have for this new album? I saw that you will embark in a tour from November until the mid of December, and then you will promote that much gigs, tours, etc. So what plans do you have for the next year? Because we are close for the end of the year. Next
Yeah.
year, perhaps you will return to Latin America and for a full tour. Who knows? What kind of plans do you have?
Well, yeah, we have the European tour coming up in November, and then we'll go home and have a quiet December and relax. And then for next year, we have some things cooking for sure. There will be more touring, but I can't tell you yet what it will be. Um, and then there will be festivals next summer, which we're looking a lot forward to. So yeah, we plan to play to perform this songs from this album a lot the next year, and also from our back catalog. Um, so we definitely want to get our music out there as much as possible for the next year.
Okay. So many bands see one. Let's talking about now about the discography of the band. You have right now 4 albums in your career, and how do you describe each album with one word? With one word, let's say it about the Witness is the most elemental album, perhaps one word, and the first album is a little more like the primitive album. So how do you describe each
Yeah,
album with one word?
one word. Um, I would say for In Mazes, it could be mechanical because it's very, it has sort of this very machine-like um, aesthetic where everything is very precise. At least that's what we had attempted to do. Applause of a distant crowd, I would say organic. So that was a response to In Mazes, making something that was more lively and more uh, sounding a bit more like a live band. Witness, I would say um, maybe detailed. Like I think the production contains a lot of details, and I think Jacob Hansen, who mixed it, did a very good job at making it um, sound very uh, sort of rich sonically. So I think you can, like, I at least hope you can discover new things every time you listen to it. And for Friend of a Phantom, um, yeah, diverse, I would say, because it sort of contains everything that we love to do at this point. Um, and yeah, I just hope that it all fits together. But that's what we will. At least it does to us. So we'll see what the audience will how the audience will react when it's out.
Okay. Okay. So Vola is a band that has been growing over the years, and each album has is having an interesting position with the media, especially when I spoke with the musician for the progressive scene from King X, the progressive metal in general. They told me that the Vola is the new sensation into the progressive music or into progressive metal stuff. So how do you take this like the fast growing that Vola has in these 20 years. You are mentioning for a lot of media, you are mentioning for a great musicians, that you are like the new wave of the progressive rock metal band.
Wow, that's amazing to hear. Well, it's very flattering, and it definitely it's definitely motivational also to hear that that many people enjoy it. I think for me, like the foundation of it all is, as I also mentioned earlier, writing music that we are fans of ourselves. And I think just because we grew up on progressive rock and metal, what we are fans of now is that is like elements from those genres also. So that's why our songs end up sounding like that. Um, but it's not like it's never been intentional that we wanted to fit into the prog category. It's just what we like to listen to. Um, and I'm just thankful that like the audience within that category is so welcoming, and that yeah, people are appreciating our music and coming to our shows. It feels like a very nice sort of area of music to be a part of. So I love playing rock festivals, but I also love playing like more broad range metal festivals. It's like I feel at home in both places.
Okay. So we are very close to this interview, the end this interview, Asger. For this topic, so related to the first question, as I said, we are talking about other kind of topics, and for this topic, how do you encompass the concept of the mathematical aspect into the music? I mean, when you have feelings to create, because for me, always Vola present a sentimental aspect, but a lot of feelings into the music, but at the same time, you are crossing the bars with talking about the mathematical four reefs, three reefs, seven reefs, or these kind of scales into the music. That's normal. When you create the music, you relate the feelings with the numbers or the mathematical topic. So how do you relate this topic at the time when you create a song? What brings first, the numbers or the feelings when you create the music?
Well, in terms of the sort of the time signatures in the songs, we are very inspired by Meshuggah, and we we love how they write riffs where the drums are almost always just going straight in 4/4, and then the bass and guitars play odd time signatures above that. But what you feel in your body is just this straight rhythm, and that's what we try to do also in Vola. So for almost all our songs, I don't really know what time signature the guitars are in actually, because I feel the straight beat of the drums, so that's what I'm focused on, and then I just sort of learn how the guitar fits in with that. So it sort of becomes this it's just muscle memory, really. So I've never thought of it as sort of using mathematics in the music. It's just about finding a groove that feels nice for the body, and that it's nice to move to on stage. it has it like if it feels good headbanging too, it's usually a nice riff to our ears.
Mm.
Um, and in terms of the emotional part, like I grew up on Steven Wilson, for example, and Porcupine Tree and Opeth, which is very melancholic, and I found solace in that. I found peace in that, and that has inspired me to to go down that same route of creating something that like on the surface sounds sad, but which also contains warmth and hope somewhere in it. And it has to, when I sing it, feel like comfort to myself. Um, so I guess there can be this element of therapy in it that it's a like a hug you give to yourself when singing. And yeah, mixing that with the way we like to write riffs, that's probably a big part of how Vola sounds, I would say.
Mm. Okay, okay. And one of the last questions for this interview, Edgar. And for this, how do you find the encompassed topic about to mention an album frame in a fandom? Because for me it's a very curious thing. Like, well, you know about this topic when you're a child, you have a friend, when like imaginary friend. That's for me. I try to relate
Yeah,
the concept friend and a phantom because imaginary friend when you have 4 years, 3 years, and you have an imaginary friend for this stuff. Perhaps it's like
yeah.
that. And where or who brings the idea to Anders from influence in one song, invite Anders for the song.
Yeah, so you asked about the album title also, or just
Yes, the album title and also
Cannibal?
the that you
Yeah,
invite the
yeah,
future for
yeah.
Anders.
Yeah, it's definitely inspired by this notion of having an imaginary friend. And this imaginary friend is just someone who's bad for you. Um, so it can be, for example, being addicted to alcohol or drugs, or to finding conspiracies. Um, so something that might drive you down the abyss eventually, and um, um, yeah, be unhealthy for you, but it's also sort of safe and comfortable because it's what you've always known, and it gives you something. Um, it gives you some kind of relief also. So it's a friendship, but it's a dangerous friendship. That's what we're trying to describe. Um, and in terms of Anders, it's a connection we made in Los Angeles last year when we toured in the United States, and we met him and Bjorn from In Flames backstage, and found out they were big Vola fans, which was mind blowing to us because we're big In Flames fans. And then when we got home and started recording the album, we we had only recorded drums at this point, so we needed vocals, for example, and guitars and so on. And we began discussing whether Cannibal would benefit from having guest vocals. And I had done some screams on the demo, but we thought that it could be really cool to have like the types of screams that Anders could deliver on the song. So we reached out to him, and he was keen on doing it. and eventually recorded the tracks and sent to us, and also came to Denmark and filmed the song, filmed the music video with us. So it happened very organically, I would say, based on just being fans of each other, and that made for a very smooth process, I would say, and I'm very proud of the outcome.
Okay. Well, Asger, we come to the sad moments of this interview. I hope you enjoyed this interview like me. This is the second time I spoke with you. The anterior album, the whole album was a great one. This new album is much mind-blowing because I hear it completely. It is really tremendous album. I did my pre-order. I have arrived, well, this new album will arrive by end of December because I arrived to here in 1 month. So congratulations on this new album. And perhaps you want to add something to your Latin American fans like me that expect a full tour because you just played in 2 cities here in Latin America,
Yeah.
2 more cities. So perhaps and more cities and obviously Metal followers.
Yeah, we would love to come back to Latin America. We have loved playing there, so it should happen at some point for sure. And yeah, thanks for talking with me and showing interest. That means a lot.